A moment's panic turned to recognition, though Shay hadn't seen him in years. Old Elmer was tall, with the kind of face that looked ancient but never seemed to age. When Shay was a toddler, she thought old Elmer was Santa Claus, and when she got older, she decided he was Merlin. He'd lived in these woods for as long as she could remember, though he was rarely seen. What was he doing here now? "Elmer, you startled me."
"Haven't seen you around for years," he said.
"I live in Scotland now. I just came for a visit."
"Scotland?"
His green eyes were steady, penetrating.
"Your home's here."
Shay glanced in the direction Cody, Marcus, and Lachlan had gone. She wasn't feeling good about either place at the moment.
"You ought not come in these woods alone. Bring one of them boys with you. There's dangerous creatures out here."
He stared at the woods in front of her, as if he could see through the curtain of darkness.
"There's a storm coming. You best hurry home."
She followed his gaze, and when she turned back, he was gone. Shivering, she wished she had gone with the boys. Her ankle was throbbing. She limped along the path, occasionally reaching out to caress a clump of pine needles or the bark of a favourite tree. She loved the rugged landscape of Scotland, but she'd spent most of her life in these Virginia woods. The memories here were part of her soul. She heard a whisper. Old Elmer? Cody? Had he come back for her? "Cody?" She stood still and listened, but there was only silence. It must have been a dead tree creaking. There it was again. "Cody, is that you?" A tree limb snapped close by and she jumped. An animal out for a midnight snack, she thought, limping faster. She didn't want to be that snack. Shay peeked behind her and saw a shadow dart across the path. It stood upright. Human. "Locke, if that's you, knock it off!" Another whisper sent her scampering behind an oak. She flattened her back against the rough bark. "Calm down, Shay. You're in the woods. Animals live in the woods, and a lot of them are nocturnal." But animals didn't whisper. She scurried from her hiding place at a fast hobble as leaves swirled angrily around her ankles and trees twisted in the wind. She heard another sound, like breathing. Or was it her? The moon had vanished, leaving the night black as she moved off the trail, taking a shortcut back to the house. She felt something closing in behind her but was too frightened to turn. She ran faster, sweat beading her brow, drying in the wind that whipped at her like claws. A white owl swooped down, and a sharp pain shot through her arm as she dove to the ground. Screeching noises echoed around her in the darkness, like birds of prey fighting. Tearing at the dirt, she scrambled to her feet and ran. Branches clawed at her face and arms. A figure stepped onto the path in front of her, and she screamed as strong arms grabbed her.